It's now time for Trivia Tracks with yours truly, Price Robertson. This edition of Trivia Tracks is brought to you by ProMed Ambulance Services, care you can count on, and Beth Smith at Edward Jones. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC. One of the most loved entertainers of the 20th century, Dean Martin was nicknamed the King of Cool. His heart-touching voice thrilled millions the world over, especially women of every age. Throughout his career, Martin performed in concert stages, nightclubs, and audio recordings, appeared in 85 film and TV productions, and sold over a million records. He was born Dino Paul Crucetti on June 7, 1917, in Steubenville, Ohio. He spoke only Italian until he started school at the age of 5. While in school, he was bullied for his broken English. As a teenager, he played the drums as a hobby. He soon dropped out of school because, as Martin admitted later on, he felt he was smarter than his teachers. He took on a series of odd jobs, including welterweight boxer. At 15, he billed himself as Kid Crochet. His prize fighting earned him a broken nose, later straightened, a scarred lip, many broken knuckles, the result of not being able to afford tape used to wrap boxers' hands, and a bruised body. Of his 12 bouts, he said that he, in quotes, won all but 11. Martin gave up boxing to work as a roulette stick man and croupier in an illegal casino behind a tobacco shop, where he had started as a stock boy. At the same time, he sang with local bands, calling himself Dino Martini after the operatic tenor Nino Martini. He got his break working for the Ernie Mackay Orchestra. He sang in a crooning style influenced by Harry Mills and the Mills Brothers, Perry Como, and Bing Crosby. By late 1940, he had begun singing for Cleveland bandleader Sammy Watkins, who suggested he change his name to Dean Martin. He stayed with Watkins until at least May 1943. By the fall of that year, he had begun performing in New York. After a stint in the Army during World War II, Martin gained his career breakthrough together with comedian Jerry Lewis, billed as Martin and Lewis in 1946. They performed in nightclubs and later had numerous appearances on radio and television and in films. Following an acrimonious ending of the partnership in 1956, Martin pursued a solo career as both a singer and actor. He recorded numerous contemporary songs, as well as standards from the Great American Songbook. He became one of the most popular acts in Las Vegas. It was known for his friendship with fellow artists Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. Together, the three entertainers, along with Peter Lawford and Joey Bishop, formed the Rat Pack. In 1964, Martin surprised everyone by knocking the Beatles off the charts with Everybody Loves Somebody Sometime, which became his signature song. In 1965, he began starring in his own TV variety series. The Dean Martin Show became an instant hit, centering on Martin's singing and comedic talents, and was characterized by his relaxed, easygoing demeanor. After the show ended in 1974, Martin launched a series of celebrity roasts, which drew celebrities, comedians, and politicians. Married 3 times, Martin remained a devoted family man, fathering 4 children from his first marriage and 3 from his second. Dean Martin kept on working well into his advancing age, at one point shooting his first ever music video on MTV. But in March of 1987, tragedy struck when the legendary crooner lost his son, Dean Paul Martin, in a plane crash. An intensely private person, Martin was hit hard by his son's death, and his alcoholism escalated. 1 year later, Frank Sinatra launched a series of Rat Pack reunion tours featuring him and his old pals Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. After only a week, Martin left, and Liza Minnelli was brought in as his replacement. Still heartbroken over the loss of his son, Martin gave up performing in the early 90s. His last recorded public appearance in Las Vegas in September 1991. His health would continue to deteriorate, the result of his heavy smoking and drinking. Martin's only public outings during this period were at a favorite Italian restaurant, seated alone in a booth. He was diagnosed with lung cancer in September 1993 and was told that he would require surgery to prolong his life, but he rejected it. He still maintained a quiet friendship with former partner Jerry Lewis, though he and Frank Sinatra rarely made contact. Finally, on Christmas Day 1995, 78-year-old Dean Martin quietly drew his last breath. The cause of death was ruled acute respiratory failure. Among the many tributes to Martin, Ohio Route 7 through Steubenville was rededicated as Dean Martin Boulevard in 1997. Till next time, I'm Price Robertson. Amazed by today's trivia? Then join me for Trivia Tracks weekdays at 6:45 on Everybody's Country Y95.